This is an introduction to the loudest warning format analog delay that I've designed with Loudest Warning in the UK, who is a designer and builder of 4U modular synthesizers. Very talented. You should check out his stuff if you haven't. The top section here is a VCA. You have an attenuverter on the input, an attenuverter on the CV control voltage, and a initial gain, so that's kind of a manual control of the VCA. Your output, when this switch is in the center position, it's totally separate from the delay on the bottom. When it is up, the audio input here gets routed to the input section and automatically mixed in with your other audio sources into the front of the delay. When the switch is down, the VCA output gets mixed with your delay time control CVs. So on the audio side, you could use that as a voltage controlled feedback or repeats. And when it is in the CV, you could use that for something like a delayed vibrato of the delay time, something like that. This T section here has the 4 outputs of the delay section. Delay A and delay B are always a ratio to each other. There are 4 BBD chips in this unit, and they're in series. One feeds the next, and each one of them is 1024 stages. Delay A is tapped off of chip 1, so 1024 stages. Delay B is tapped off of chip 4, so 4096 stages. Delay B will always be 4 times the delay length of delay A. So as an example, if the delay time is put to maximum speed, so minimum delay time, delay A is set to be 1 millisecond delay, and delay B will be 4 times that, 4 millisecond delay. The 1 volt per octave output is a control voltage output for controlling external effects or filters. There are tracking filters in this delay that track the delay time setting to make sure that the input audio and the output of the BBD chips is appropriately filtered. And that control voltage that's used internally is also brought to the front here, so that if you wanted to control other filters, if you were doing something more extreme and needed additional filtering, you could control that automatically. Or if you just want to control anything that in a way that it's related to the delay time, that's what you use. When you need it, you really need it, that's why it's there. The flanging output is related to some of this other stuff down here, so I'm going to leave that for now and come back to it. Inputs 1 and 2, on mine, they're identical, they're both AC coupled. There is the option to DC couple input 2 and DC couple delay A. There are downsides to it, but it allows you to use the bucket brigade chips to delay CVs and control voltages. Some people might want to experiment with that. In my case, I wanted this for audio only, so that's all AC coupled. Input 1 and 2 are identical in that case. Input 1 and 2 gets mixed together and gets fed into a filter. Now, there are 3 filters in the unit. There's a filter on the after the input mixture after all the inputs are mixed, that is filtered and put into the delay chips. And then the 2 outputs, delay A and delay B, are also filtered. The filters are all identical. They're controlled at the same time, but the same control. They track the delay time, and then you have the option to offset that manually, either with this manual control or with voltage control, with this voltage control input and this attenuverter here. Most of the time, this straight up is going to be the best setting, and then the unit will take care of moving those filters as you change the delay time. As you go into the faster delay times, you can open it right up because less and less filtering is required. And at slower delay times, that gives you the option to listen to the bucket brigade delays like wide open, just feed them stuff that they don't know what to do with, and listen to all that. Gets pretty gross and filthy, but if you like that sound, you have the option to do it. This is a manual delay time knob, and then this is a voltage control input with a tenuverter for the delay time. The feedback section is a little bit complex. Basically, you can select 3 different sources for your feedback path that then is getting mixed in with the inputs and ends up being kind of your recirculation path. So at flanging delay times, that would be your feedback. At delay times, that would be kind of your repeats. You have the option to route the delay A internally through this attenuverter back through the inputs, and the attenuverter allows you to mix in phase or antiphase. Same thing with delay B output. You can choose to feed that back, and then you can choose to pull from this auxiliary input jack. Now, I haven't switched mine yet. Initially, I was thinking I would DC couple this path. I'm not going to. It's going to be AC, so this needs to be a black jack. But this is what you would use if, for example, you wanted to add like a frequency shifter in the feedback path. So if you wanted to patch delay B output through a frequency shifter and then back into the module, and you get all kinds of crazy effects. So if you want to create an external feedback effect loop, that's what you'd use for that. Finally, we have the flanging output. So the flanging output is kind of it's a premix of a couple of the things you would want for a flanging effect. So it's a mixture of your inputs plus your delay A. So at shorter delay times, that's going to be where you're going to get a flanging type of effect. And if I plug this in here, I can show you what that would sound like. So if we turn this up, so that's a flanging effect. And if we add some feedback from tap A, now the mix knob controls how much of that delay A is mixed with the dry. And you can choose whether it's mixed in phase or anti-phase, similar to the feedback knob here. You kind of have to just listen to it and choose which one you want. Sometimes at slower speeds, there's not much difference, but at flanging speeds, there's a lot of difference because it's the difference between negative feedback and positive feedback and recombining that kind of comb filtering effect destructively or additively. So sometimes it has an effect, sometimes it doesn't, but you want both, so it's there. And now I'm just gonna play some stuff and mess around with some settings. So I'm just kind of plugging in a random addressing of the sequencer that's over here.